Hi, today's insight is a three-piece message. I want to say that it'll resonate for those that consider themselves light beings, light warriors, light workers, consider themselves more than this physical body, having a human experience and here to learn. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is intuition. So as we're evolving as a consciousness, as a collective consciousness, it's going to be vital that we are in tune with ourselves, and that we follow that voice that's within, that we follow the visions that we have, the perception that we have, because a lot of times it can be beyond what is physically present. So stick with that, follow that, let go of judgment of it. Whether people agree with it or not is irrelevant, because what I find in the journey is that there's perceptions of what life should be at certain stages, or the shoulds or shouldn'ts of your life. And so today's message is to really hone in to your inner voice and what that's telling you, and what road to follow, what road to create for yourself. And it's very important in this time right now. And because also you have the answers, right? And I know it sounds cliche, you have the answers within. What I have found is that a lot of times when I'm confused and I feel like I need to know something, I find myself looking for others that could perhaps shed some light on what I'm looking for. And this is why it's important to be in tune, because there are people that perhaps, let me see, I don't want to say that they don't have the best intention, because it is what it is. We're there to experience it, yet they may not be clear themselves, right? And so when we go in search of all these answers and almost like depend on someone else to have them for us, that's where it can get tricky. So that's why it's very important to be in tune, so that your inner voice is guiding you. And even if you come across information where it's like, I don't know if that resonates with me, right? Just taking it for what it is and being able to discern whether or not it's serving your highest good is key. That's why it's important to be in tune, so that the discernment happens in a smooth way, right? And so the reason also I say that this is important to also be in tune and to focus on following what feels right for you, what feels true for you, is because when we come across this journey, or when we start to open up the divinity within us, right? When we start to live that, it's like it's contagious, right? We want to share it with others. We want to help others. And it's like, oh, I have this golden treasure. I want to share it with everyone. Yet not everyone is ready, right? And so more and more as we evolve, consciousness, it's going to expand whether people are ready for it or not. So that's number one. So why not get ready? And the other piece is like, we can only really help the people that want to be helped. Okay, so working with energy and with healing, and just with everyone, because it's like there's this compassion within me, right? I guess it's the Pisces in me and my Virgo ascendant of wanting to serve. But I always want to look for ways to help others. And, I've come across it with friends and family, and just strangers, right? Where they just weren't ready. And that's okay. It's okay. And today's message is to focus on those that are ready, and to let go of the ones that in this moment aren't ready to receive the information, right? So what's happening is like it's more and more light, and some are either going to receive it or resist it, right? And so when the heart energy is open, the receiving is a lot easier. I've talked about this in a previous message, and it's been coming up more and more. It's like that's what lets us know that someone is ready to receive. The heart is open, and they start to ask questions. They become curious. They want to engage in conversation. They seek for help, right? When it's too much, right? There's a song, "The Light" by Common, and he says, blink, recognize the light. You can't handle the glare, right? And so that's true. Some will recognize the light, will recognize that you're there to help them, yet it's like, ooh, that's too much light for me right now. I'm going to go ahead and just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm not ready for that responsibility. The transformation is too much, or there's a lot of situations and responsibilities and duties that are distracting and shifting the person from aligning to that that path of awakening and truly embodying the divinity, right? And so if you're in the situation or have been, you may know or have experienced that sometimes family and friends are the hardest people to connect to when you're going through this spiritual awakening or having all these different experiences that it's like you want them to also experience it, yet everyone has their own time. Trust me, I've fallen into the let me help, let me feel like I like rescuing certain people, and it's like it's backfired. I've put a lot of energy into people that haven't been ready, and like I said, that's okay, right? And it's part of the experience so that we can learn, right? Learn that everyone has free will, and they'll receive it when they're ready. Okay, so. This takes me into like what Malcolm X said. He said the greatest mistake of the movement has been trying to organize a sleeping people around specific goals. You have to wake the people up first, then you'll get action. Okay, so the purpose is to work with those that are seeking to wake up, that are seeking to have answers, to work with others. A lot of what we're going to be doing collectively is like building community and working together, more so than working individually and having this ego-driven society, right? So that's what we're working towards. And so the last thing I want to talk about is with the same thing. So we have this intuition that we're following so that we know where to put our energy, like who really deserves the help and who really wants it. And the reason I bring this up is because since we are energy, right, we get to be very careful of who we're paying it to, right? And so even when we say or paying attention to something, right, to pay is in essence to give, and sometimes it's a loss of something. And when we're paying attention to those that aren't ready to be helped, it's like we're losing energy into something that the return on investment is pretty low. And not that we're helping to get something in return, yet the purpose is to, once we help the other person or other people, then we can work collectively to help others and grow. It's not, just let me help this person to see what I can get out of it, right? And so just being aware of what you're paying attention to, right? And attention, if you notice, isn't something tangible. Like we can't grab attention, yet we pay it. And so everything lies in the language, right? So the question is, what are you paying attention to and what are you not paying attention to? Because that also lets us know where we can focus our energy better so that we have different results. And energy will flow where that attention is going. That's the law, right? The law of attraction. And a lot of times I hear in language people telling me what they don't want. And what's interesting is the subconscious it doesn't process the not, yet in order to not process it, it processes it. It's interesting. Anyway, so when we are coming from a place of what we don't want or what we're not doing, we're literally directing that exact thing that we don't want to the subconscious, and so it's creating that, right? It's focusing on that because it doesn't process the not. It takes direct order. So if I don't want to wake up, I do want to wake up if you take the not out, right? So focusing on what you are paying attention to and what you're not paying attention to will also let you know what you are paying attention to. So we're like batteries, right? We need to recharge. We need to focus on what we're running our energy on. And so again, if it's running on people that do want the help, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel that energy exchange. You're gonna feel like, oh my goodness, this is worth it. This is where I want to be. It's vitality. There's energy. There's enthusiasm. There's faith. There's progress. That's how you know that you're growing. There's progress. There's growth. There's cooperation, right? And so just being aware of how you feel yourself, how you feel your own energy through your thoughts, through the words, through music, through food, right? Through the sunlight, all of that fuels the energy. So whatever you're paying attention to is what's fueling your energy, right? And so if we're paying attention to something that is no longer in the highest good, then that's what we're going to get back, because that is the law. That is the law of attraction. That's the law of vibration, and it's always an effect, whether we're conscious of it or not. So, and of course the intention is key, because that's what's also driving the attention. Intention is what's driving the attention, okay? So again, intuition, following, being in tune, listening, so that there's no swaying because of what others are saying, what society thinks you should or shouldn't be doing, so that you're in your power, in your authentic power, so that you can help others, right? And remember that it's not focusing on the ones that are sleeping and trying to get them to a specific goal. It's focusing on the ones that want to wake up, the ones that want to make the movement, the ones that are ready. And so remember to focus on what you're paying attention to, because that's where your energy is going. That's what's fueling your energy. That's confirmation. So being aware of what you're feeling and into, and what you're feeling into, both ways. All right, that is today's insight. Namaste.